Okay, hello everyone. I was just about to make a video announcing the live streams this weekend, and I saw a new trailer for Dragon Age Inquisition, and I thought I should make a video about it instead. But I'm gonna make the live stream announcement later this evening, so stay tuned for that. Now about Dragon Age Inquisition. The trailer is called Enemy of Thedas, and it is about some entity called the Elder One, or at least referred to as the Elder One. And I'm not really sure who this Elder One is. I will show you a few snippets.
Tell me, where is your maker now? Call him. You cannot, for he does not exist.
They are under the command of the Venatori, in service to something called the Elder One.
Bow before your new god and be spared.
We hear this voice who is mocking the Maker and claiming that the Maker does not exist, which is a possibility, I think. And we see a lot of dragons, we see this scene. Now, it's hard because in these trailers, you never know whether the sound you're listening to is actually related to the scene you're watching. It may be just a snippet of dialogue or something shown during a scene where they're not really connected. That has been happening in the past, so not sure, but maybe that Elder One is a dragon and maybe it's an old god. I think maybe it's the god of the first blight, but was he actually the oldest? Well, maybe he was. I was actually very interested into the old gods and the blights and the architect and all that, the darkspawn. So I would really like if the story shifts away from the Mage Templar conflict and focuses more, perhaps on the later stages of the game, on the Blight and on the archdemons and the old gods and all that, and Flemeth, probably Morrigan. Speaking of Morrigan, we do see Morrigan here, and initially when I saw this scene, I was like, oh my god, that's Morrigan's child, because we see this guy here, and the camera pans, and we see Morrigan very vaguely. And I was like, oh my god, that's a hint of Morrigan's child. Which, by the way, if it's there, I really hope it's not canon, and it's only if you import the proper save. But anyway, later we see a scene where I think this guy fights off Morrigan. So, I don't know, I guess he could still be her child and be against her for some reason. But that's an interesting thing. What's that about Morrigan and this guy? We also see that, well, I'm not really sure, but I speculate that the Inquisitor is probably some entity that was formed by accident, because we do see this other thing that looks exactly like the Inquisitor. It wears the same armor, shakes the Inquisitor around and is angry at him, and then we hear a voice saying, you shouldn't have existed.
More pain this time. The Elder One still comes.
You are a mistake. You should never have existed.
And also, in the beginning, that's probably speculating too much, but when you listen to that voice, when he say, call down his wrath upon me, or something, the moment I heard this line, for some reason it reminded me very much of one of the lines in the previous trailers, where the Inquisitor says, what did he say? Evil has left its mark upon me, or something. And I actually compared these two lines, and if you pitch that line down 3 semitones, it does sound very similar, so that may be like the alter ego of the Inquisitor or something. I don't know, it's interesting, certainly.
Call down his wrath upon me.
Chaos has left its mark upon me.
Call down his wrath upon me.
Chaos has left its mark upon me.
And of course, probably the biggest thing I left for the end, it's the cameo of Hawke. Apparently, this is female Hawke. I actually had to look this up so that I won't lie to you, but I think it has been confirmed that this is female Hawke, and the Grey Warden next to her is not the Grey Warden from Dragon Age Origins. I'm interested to see how and whether that Warden will be implemented in the game. There are so many variations of what that Warden can be, so part of me wants to see him, part of me wants him to be left alone. We'll see, but tell me what you think about this Elder One. Is that an old god? Is that a dragon? Is that Flemeth? Is that the first archdemon? Who is that? Is that the nemesis of the Maker? Is that the Maker himself? Is it Sandal? And tell me what you think about this Morrigan's child. Is it Morrigan's child? Is it someone else? And also about that whole idea with having our characters from the first and second game reappear in the story and how that will be handled, what their personalities will be. Basically, the Dragon Age Keep makes me think, the idea of the Keep makes me think that they will take into account a vast amount of choices when building up the world, but I don't know. It's so much work to take into account everything that has happened and to alter the world so much, or alter the characters so much actually, so that they make perfect sense. But we'll see. I can't wait to try the game. I still have hopes that I'll get into the beta. The game is coming in 2 months, so I guess there's still time. Anyway, so that was it. That was my whole rambling about the trailer, and I thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the announcement of the live streams this weekend. And be good.